If you've been on the internet for any significant amount of time, you probably know what a tier list is. But for the uninitiated... Oops, sorry. I started reading the intro script from the wrong paragraph. Let me start again. Hello there, I'm Rue. I'm an Ninjago fan and a mock builder, mainly posting on Instagram. Over the years, I have made many MOCs. If you don't know what that means, fortunately, Google can inform us that a MOC is in fact an acronym that can refer to several different things, including a market on close order in stock trading, a management of change process in industrial settings, a Lego custom model, a member of Congress or their representative, and my own creation, among others. In this context, we're referring to the third and fifth definition in that list, where my MOCs come in a range of styles, but were all designed by yours truly, out of parts from my Lego collection. Some of my MOCs have also been added to my Rebrickable page, where you can build them for yourself, and today we'll be finding out which of these MOCs is the best by ranking them on a tier list. If you've been on the internet for any significant amount of time, you probably know what a tier list is. But for the uninitiated, a tier list is a ranking system where you can grade items from A to F, which work like school grades, though most tier lists have an S tier above the A tier. But I don't remember that being a grade when I did my qualifications at school. Maybe it counts as an A star. Yeah, maybe that's it. So I'm going to edit this list to make it the A star tier. But with all that out of the way, I think we might be ready to start judging my past MOCs and find out what is truly the best of the best. If this concept doesn't yet make sense, hopefully it will soon. But yeah, let's get started. So, our first MOC to put on the tier list is the J4 Ninja Striker. Now this is quite an interesting one. It's kind of built around this bike launching feature, which makes the whole frame a bit skinny, but it's overall quite a cool function, but makes the whole build a bit gimmicky. I quite like it though. I'm not sure about B or C tier, because there's a lot better MOCs on this list. I'll put it in C tier for now, which is, like, average. I know, it's quite cool, though, with the bike launching feature. It's just a bit finicky, and, it does sacrifice a bit in the looks department, though you might like the look of this. I've got some comments of people who really like it, so, yeah, it's a pretty cool MOC. Maybe I'll put it in B. Yeah, put it in B. Next, the Glaciator. The Glaciator is the biggest MOC on this list. It's also the first video I made on this channel was about this MOC, as it was made about, I think it was June last year. It is quite a chunky build, though it doesn't have a lot of functionality, as most of the room is spent accommodating the tracks and stuff like that. It's got this detachable jet in the center, which is cool, but it's not the best of the detachable jets. But I just have a lot of nostalgia for this one. I don't know. A or B? A. Yeah, it's quite cool. I also like how the turrets are on there. You can watch my full video on that if you want to see more about it, but it's quite a cool build. Next up we have the Aerial Crusher. Now this is actually two MOCs, but I've counted it as one because it's got this mech that attaches to the back of the plane. And on Rebrickable, those are listed as separate MOCs, though the full build itself is also a separate listing of its own. And now this one is actually one of my favourites. I really love this one. The cannons on the front represent Cole's lava arms, and it's pretty cool. And it also ties in with the red of the mech at the back, so it's a cool bit of color. I don't know how to word it, but yeah, it works quite well. Though the mech itself is not as good as another one we'll see later that's a similar scale, but yeah, it's quite good. Now, oh, this is the first of the free ones. It's an alt build as well. It's from set 71790, the Imperium Dragon Hunter Hound, and this is an alt build that turns it into a mech, which was a little bit of a challenge. Not the most challenging alt build on here, but it's quite cool. It does suffer a bit in the looks department because it's an alt build. I think all of the alt builds on here suffer in that respect, so I don't think it's gonna go as high. It is the one that's been most downloaded though, of the free ones. So I'm thinking C tier. It's a fine build, I guess. Yeah. It's not one of my favorites. Ooh, this one. The Abandoned Temple. This one is interesting. This is my most sold of the MOCs on this list as of time of recording. It's also an alternate build of set 71795, the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores. It takes the whole tower of the original set and turns it into this sprawling building instead, and it's quite cool. Where do I put it? It's not my favourite, but the fact that it is the most sold of anything on this list shows that clearly it is quite a good build. The tree is quite cool on this, I must say. Though some of the buildings are a bit gappy, so I'm thinking B. Is it better or worse than the J4 Ninja Striker? I think it's a bit better. Put it there. Yeah. I think that's a good position for it. Yeah, it's a system of detachable buildings which can connect to each other. I also have a video on this one if you want to see more about it. But yeah, that's that one. Next up, Sora's Transforming Hovercraft. This is the third alt build. We've got this is a long stretch of alt builds at the moment. This one is an alt build of set 71792, Sora's Transforming Mech Bike Racer. The thing I like with this one is that I took a transforming vehicle and made it into another transforming vehicle that doesn't really use the wheels as wheels. It kind of uses them as the back exhaust of an engine, and I think that's quite cool. It also has this turret side build which stands sturdy on another one of those wheels. So it's quite cool, though it's a little fragile because of the alt build aspect. I think it's better than this mech. I think it's better than this, but is it good enough to be in B tier? I'm gonna leave it in C for now, because there's a lot of good things on this list, and I don't want it to be too top heavy. Though B technically is the middle of the list, because we've not got an F tier, because, spoiler alert, none of my MOCs are, in my opinion, F tier. I wouldn't have posted them if they were. Though, maybe I shouldn't have posted anything I thought was gonna be C tier. But it's all comparison, really. It's comparative. And the alt build aspect does add a lot, so. Kai's Elemental Fire Dragon. another old build. This one of Kai's fire mech from last year. You can tell I built this one in a different place because it's got a different background. But this one I have a lot of good feelings with. I like this one. It's I like how it takes the mech and turns it into something very different. And that's something I try to do with all of my alt builds. As you can see, like, this is the wolf to a mech, this is a bike to mech that's turned into a hovercraft that transforms, this is a tower which has turned into a sprawling temple, and now here we have this mech that turns to a dragon. It's very cool in that regard. The wings are a bit strange. There's a bit of strangeness to it because of what parts are in there. Well, what parts were available. But I quite like this build. I'm thinking B tier or A tier? B tier or A tier? You can tell I haven't thought about this. B. There. I think that's a good place for it. Nah. There. I think the abandoned building just has that extra bit to it because it is a bit bigger. It and the functionality of the buildings that separate. This is just a dragon, and it can fall over a bit because the legs are a bit, well, the feet are a bit small. But it looks very cool. I like that one. The walking chair, probably the worst thing on this, but it is free. It's an alt build of set 71810, Young Dragon Ryu. But I don't know. It was just something I wanted to do, and then I guess it works, but it doesn't stand up to anything else on this list. It is my least favourite, which is why it's down in the D tier. There's not a lot you can do with the parts of the set I used, but I think this is cool, and it's not too long of a build to build it yourself, so that's hence why I made the instructions free, because it didn't take me long to make the instructions. I think I filmed the video and made the instructions on the same day, which is not something I can say about any of these other ones, because it takes a while to to make the instructions for some of these. Next one. Ooh, Cole's Earth Mech vs Serpent. This is great. It's inspired by the Ninjago Legend sets in the way that it's a mech fighting a monster, just like that one that released this summer with Kai's Fire Knight mech. I don't think the stand is quite as good as the one in that set, but we are working with parts of a different set, which is Cole's Titan Dragon mech. It is very cool though. I really like this. It can be a little bit of a pain to pose the mech on the serpent to begin with, but once you get it standing there, it's quite sturdy, and I really like how it looks. A or A star tier? A tier. Yeah, A tier. It's very cool. If you're looking at this and thinking, oh, I might build it, I would recommend it. It's a lot cheaper than you would find instructions for most alternate builds for that set. So yeah, I would recommend trying it for yourself. It would take a few hours to build, and then yeah, it's the the mech itself is a bit bigger than the elemental mech that I used to make this mock, for example. And the snake is very long, but when it curls around, it kind of makes this complete mark. So it's very cool. Yeah. Do I have anything else to say about this? Or should I move on? Let's move on. So, next, well, I'll move on because we're only halfway through the video and I don't want this to be ridiculously long. So, Frax Quake Buggy. This one has a function where if you wheel it along a surface or something, the tail will wag up and down. Now, the function for the tail wagging is a little different to how I initially envisioned it, as it would have used a cam piece which would have varied the rate of the tail moving up and down. However, this version just uses a wheel in the middle, so it uses a constant rate. So it's not as vigorous, but the compromise was made because the tail kept falling off, and now it's much more sturdy. But it's I feel like this is becoming redundant. It's very cool. It's on the smaller side of things on this list, and it's mainly built around that tail wagging function. But it looks quite cool, and it has this snake-like feeling without being as snake as some of the early Ninjago Serpentine vehicles. It kind of fits Frack in that way, and uses the signature colours from his Season 3 Part 1 suit. Super excited for Season 3 Part 2 to arrive soon, though. I did not watch the leaks, so I don't know what's happening, but yeah, we'll see what happens in a few days. This mock, though, I think B tier is quite good for this. I think it's slightly better than the J4 Ninja Striker. Maybe it's better than the Elemental Dragon. I think top of B for now. Oi. Top of B. I think that's where I'm going to leave it, because it's quite a cool mock. I don't think it's quite A tier, though. Woo's Battle Dragon Mech. I like this one. It's got cool proportions. It is a lot better proportioned than Ninjago mechs, like official ones, of the same scale, though it does end up using double the number of pieces in that regard. So it's about as tall as an Evo mech, but in terms of the general shaping, it is more inspired by Cole's Dragon Titan mech or something like that. So it looks quite good for a mech of its size. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this all the way in A tier. Like, this mech is quite good. And the wings add a lot. And the hat. The hat makes it feel like a Master Wu mech rather than a Zane mech, for example. And then the wings just give it this unique feel that a lot of other mechs won't have. I think this mech is better than the little one of the same scale which is in here, though the things I did with the mech that attaches to the back of this vehicle really paved the way for this one, which I made a year later. And now we have another alt build. This is Zane's Dragon Power Turbojet, that uses parts from Zane's Dragon Power Spinjitzu race car, which is still a name that is an absolute mouthful. But yeah, this one is the most recently built thing on this list. It's not my favourite though, kind of falling in that realm of alt builds not being my favourite builds again. It had to compromise a lot because I was running out of the white parts surprisingly. Like, you'd have thought in a Zane set you wouldn't run out of white parts, but I did, and thus this ended up being the second attempt. The first attempt, I ran out of white parts at the cockpit, and then had to go all the way back to the tail and remove stuff and change things around so that I could get some white parts to use at the front. So, because like, if the front failed, then the whole thing's toast, pretty much. But I think this Zane jet isn't quite as good as the Zane jet that detaches from here. So it's definitely not going in the A tier. I don't think it belongs in B either. I think I can put it in C though. I think C is fair. I think bottom of C. I think I just prefer those other two models in C a bit more. Like Saurus transforming hovercraft, that has the cool transforming feature. And then this mech is just a bit cooler, I think. Which is a bit strange because this is an ice vehicle and ice is very cool. But yeah, of the two Zane vehicles we've had so far, this one's definitely better. Like, this one's so much better. I'm quite happy with how this is turning out so far, so let's keep going. Next we have the two Kraglings, which I'm gonna probably rank next to each other because they're pretty similar. This one's just the Chief and then this one's the normal one. So yeah, they're pretty cool. These are the oldest MOCs on this tier list, actually. They were built for something in October of 2023 when Dragon's Rising's first season had just finished. Actually no, I think I made this just before the second half premiered. But yeah, these two, they're quite cool. They use a bit of the Mixlish design philosophy to them. Remind me a lot of the Kraglings. No, not the Kraglings. These are the Kraglings. Oh, maybe they are the Kraglings. I'm gonna have to look that up, but I think there is this Mixel tribe called the Kraglings. And, these remind me of them quite a lot in the way they're designed. Though, obviously, these are a bit bigger and they have, a less goofy feel to them. The design philosophy behind these was to make the shaping as close to that of the show as possible, while giving them a lot of rocky texture, and I think I achieved that quite well. A tier? I'm thinking A tier. No, actually, that's a bit high. I'm just looking at what I put in B tier. Probably behind... There. No. There. I'm struggling here. Like, is it better or worse than the Abandoned Temple? I can't even remember what I said about that earlier in the video. I'm gonna have to watch it back. But, yeah, this is quite good. This... Yeah, I'm putting these both here. I quite like him. Though I think that way around. He's just got that little edge because he's the Chief and it's cool. Though he is a few parts more than them. But, yeah. Ooh, the Rogue's Shatterspin Lightning Hawk. Now this one's interesting. When I uploaded this one to Rebrickable, I actually uploaded it as two separate listings. One that has the full build, and then one that's just got the detachable section. Because, like, this one has the function where it's beneath a lot of the paneling and stuff, there is a ninja vehicle for Jay, but it's hidden underneath a lot of these extra sections which are added on, which I thought was quite cool as a concept, because that part of Jay is hidden underneath his new rogue persona, which is built around the loss of memories. Obviously, I don't know what happens in the the second half of Season 3, but this was also made before the first half of Dragons Rising Season 3 released. So, this was just going off what we knew from Season 2's Tournament of Sorcerers. I really like this, though, even though it's probably a bit inaccurate to how the show wanted to portray Rogue. It still does a very good job as an evil J vehicle, and for that I'm going to put it above the Aerial Crusher in A tier. Really like this one, and as it turns out, from looking at Rebrickable, the price per part is not too bad. Like, 667 parts for a bit over £40 is not bad. That makes it about 7 pence per piece-ish. I mean, most of the MOCs on here have a pretty good value. Maybe these two are not so good on the value, so maybe I should drop them down a bit, but I don't know. I'm just going to leave them there. But yeah, this one, my favourite so far. I really like that one. It also has a Neojet that detaches from the back, and the turret on the front rotates, which releases some studs from one of those old style of rapid stud shooters. I believe the exact part I used came from a 2018 Nexonite set. But yeah, next, Aaron's Monstrosity Mech. This, I like this. It is a little fragile, which I will knock it down a bit for that. But it can transform into a dragon, which is pretty cool. Of course, you have to remove the tail to do that, but oh, and also the grapple turns into the reins for the dragon. But it's quite cool how it does that. I'm gonna give it a bit of props for that too. And I like some of the general shaping. It feels very evil, which was the aim, because this is a mech that Aaron would pilot while he's learning under Raz, because so it has some of that darker aspect to it. It's something I built before. I think it was built before we even knew what the full Season 3 Aaron minifigure looked like. But it fits him quite well, I think. Of course, the dragon aspect, because he's got the dragon on some of his suits. Though actually, maybe it was released. Maybe I did build this after images of Aaron's suit were released, because it's got that purple. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in the B tier. I think this is going at the bottom of B tier. Just because, again, as I said, there's a few bits where they just break off, and the posability isn't the best. It could probably have used slightly better joints, or a slightly better system of joints, but it's quite good. We'll just leave it there. The Fire Ice Mech feels a lot smaller than the Monstrosity Mech, even though it's not. Like, this is almost the same size, as you can see from the piece counts, which I'm flashing up on the screen. It's half built to be a Kai mech and half built to be a Zane mech. Like, on this image here, it probably looks a lot more Kai mech than Zane, but it's because it's this corkscrew pattern where the fire wraps around and upwards around the mech, and the ice does the same around the back, so it's equal parts fire and ice. It also has this function where if you remove these two small gears, then there's this knob at the back which you can rotate, which swings the arms, kind of like some of the Bionicle figures do. So it's very cool in that regard. It's also got quite a lot of posability, and it includes a rotating hips, which the monstrosity mech does not have. And originally, this one didn't. I modified that quite recently to make it have that functionality, and I think it really adds to the mech, so that's the version you'll get if you buy it from my Rebrickable store. But yeah, I quite like this, though the external look can look a bit rough, depending on who you are. I think the monstrosity mech has a better look, but everything else is better on the Fire Ice mech, so I'm just going to edge it out there. The tier list is a bit B-centric. Like, it's almost symmetrical at the moment, but yeah. We'll see what else we have. Lloyd's Majestic Dragon Copter. Now, on Rebrickable, this is 2 MOCs, but when I built it, I intended it as 1. So it's got the Majestic Dragon Copter, which is most of it, and then it's also got this tech bike at the back, which I released as a free instructions, rather than lumping it in with the main build, which you have to pay for. But it's quite cool. Sorry, my recording just dropped out then, but I was just talking about the Majestic Dragon helicopter there, and I was saying it's quite interesting because the bike, it actually transforms to attach to the back of the helicopter, which makes the bike look a bit strange, but it creates this cool functionality to it, which I quite like. And I'm gonna need to do a count of how many times I say cool in this video, aren't I? Put that on screen right now. But it also has this function for the helicopter blade, so when you turn this knob on the side, it actually makes the blade spin faster than how you crank the gear. Excuse me. But this comes at a price because it creates more friction for the helicopter blades. I could have done this without that function, but I thought it was cooler to include it anyway. We've also got another one of those rapid stud shooters on the side, but overall quite cool build, though on the other side the colours are a bit strange. It was designed around Lloyd's master outfit from that briefly appeared in the Tournament of Sorcerers, but I don't know if it works that well. It looks a bit messy. It's probably going to be the only non-alt build that's going to get in C tier, just because of the overall looks and the fact that the functionality also comes at a cost of other functionality. Just kind of mid in that aspect. Though evidently my average is above what I would consider to be average, so that's a good sign. But last but not least, we have Cole's Earth Charger. Now, this one is much bigger than I think it is. This thing has 539 parts, so it doesn't feel that big. What it does is that it has this jet that attaches to the back, like so many others. It's nearly all grey. It's just a rock jet, and it's very cool for that aspect. There, I said cool again. But you can remove this, and it's quite... Now I want to say cool, but it's... a function that the MOC has, so you can remove the jet from the back. Also, the front can rotate so that the vehicle can activate lava mode. So it's got this top side and bottom side aspect, and you can flip them over. So I've got the building on both sides aspect to that, so that you can get the top and the bottom to look cool. But so in lava mode, you reveal these stud shooters. They're still the old style. A lot of these use the old style just because I have a lot of them in my collection, whereas I don't have so many of the new style. But yeah, you can rotate that front section, reveals the lava form, or you can rotate it back to reveal these engine exhausts. There's also this cool vents at the back. There's also a storage compartment for the swords. There's quite a bit going on with this MOC. It's very dense, though, which is kind of probably where all that 539 parts goes to. It is cool. Can I stop saying cool? Find out soon. I know we've put all of the coal vehicles towards the top, and I don't want to, but at the same time, A tier. Yeah. So yeah, all of the coal vehicles are really bunched up together there. But that's our tier list. I think it looks pretty reasonable. Let me know if you do it differently in the comments. You can also check out this tier list for yourself and make it for yourself, I guess. Oh, that just sounds weird. But yeah, you can do this tier list for yourself and share it with me if you want to. I would be willing to see what you come up with on Instagram. But yeah, that's my tier list. I really like all of these models, but for the sake of ranking them, I had to, be harsh on some of them. But yeah, these top few, like, amazing. And I would really recommend, if there's anything on this list you really want to build, then go for it. Apart from these two, according to my calculations, the value's all better than if you were to build an official Lego set. Actually, I should preface that also, I didn't count the old builds in that analysis. But yeah, apart from the old builds and these two, the value is estimated to be better than an official Lego set, which is very good. But of course, if you have the Lego set for the old builds, you can do them as well. This one, as you can see, really good, in my opinion. This one, and this one, quite good. And then the rest of them, yeah, they're decent. For old builds, they're probably about as good as I could come up with. But yeah, that's my tier list. Thanks for watching.